people getting the best results from Seedance 2.0 are not necessarily the most creative people using it. They're just the ones who figured out a handful of specific things early on. And because of that, they're spending fewer credits to get results that actually look the way they plan. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what those things are. So by the end, your credits go further and more of your generations come back right on the first try. Before you type a single word into the prompt, the settings you have selected are already deciding what kind of output you get back. And one of the most common reasons outputs come back lower quality than expected is not the prompt. It's that the model selected is Seedance 2.0 fast instead of Seedance 2.0. Inside of Higgsfield, when you open the video section and go to create a video, you will see a model selector at the top. There are two versions of Seedance available. Seedance 2.0 fast is designed for quick previews and early testing. It processes faster, which means it spends less time perfecting the output. When you are still figuring out whether an idea is worth developing, that version has its place. But for anything you plan to actually use, fast will give you noticeably softer results. And that is where a lot of people feel like the tool is not delivering. So always make sure Seedance 2.0 is selected before you generate. The second setting is duration. Seedance 2.0 generates up to 15 seconds per clip. A lot of people default to 8 or 10 seconds without really thinking about it. For a single standalone clip, that is fine. But if you are building a sequence of scenes that need to cut together, shorter clips give you less footage to work with in the edit, which means more generations to run overall. Setting the duration to 15 seconds gives you more material from each generation and more flexibility when you bring everything into your editing software. For aspect ratio, 16:9 is the standard for YouTube and any horizontal format. If you are making content for Instagram Reels or TikTok, 9:16 is what you want. Getting this wrong means your footage either needs to be cropped in post, which changes the composition of every shot, or it cannot be used at all. For resolution, always set it to the highest option available to you. And regardless of which resolution you generate at, Higgsfield has a built-in video upscaler worth using on every clip before you bring it into your edit. Inside Higgsfield, go to the Video tab and you will see a video upscale option. Select Topaz Video as the upscaler. Set the scale factor to 4K, and you can also adjust the frame rate in the advanced settings to smooth out any motion that feels choppy. Running your finished Seedance clips through this step before editing makes a real difference to the final quality. So before any generation, check these 4 things. With all those set correctly, your prompt is actually getting the best the model can offer. But even then, most prompts are still not written in a way that Seedance is designed to respond to, and that is what we are covering next. The most common prompt going into Seedance 2.0 looks something like this: a chef preparing food in a restaurant kitchen. That is a clear idea, but it just isn't built for how Seedance actually reads a prompt. Seedance 2.0 is a multi-shot model, and it does not generate a single locked-off scene. It reads your prompt and constructs a sequence of camera positions, movements, and transitions across the full length of the clip. When you give it one vague line, you are handing all of those decisions to the model with no direction. The outputs might look fine on their own, but they will not reflect any specific creative intent because you never gave the model one to work from. Creators who consistently get cinematic results from Seedance are almost always working with a multi-shot prompt structure, one that tells the model what the camera is doing in each part of the clip, what the subject is doing, and what the environment looks and feels like. Writing that level of detail from scratch for every generation sounds like a lot of work, but there is a shortcut that makes it fast. Take your rough idea into any AI chatbot like Anthropic's Claude, OpenAI's Chat, or Google's Gemini, and describe the scene in plain language, just a few sentences, and ask it to expand that into a detailed multi-shot cinematic prompt for Seedance 2.0. What comes back is a fully structured version of your idea with shot types, camera movements, transitions, and lighting notes already written out. You copy it and drop it directly into Seedance, and you do not need to know film terminology to do this. I'll hit generate, and this is what we get back. The result works because it follows the prompt closely, with clear actions and a detailed environment, making every shot feel intentional and consistent. Also, if your clip is supposed to have sound, whether that is ambient noise, a character speaking, or any specific audio, the audio toggle in the generation panel needs to be switched on before you generate. It is off by default for some users. If you generate without it and realize you need audio, you have to run the whole thing again, so always check before you hit generate. But there is a reason your character still does not look the same in every clip. clip, and that's what we're going to talk about now. Seedance 2.0 supports image references, and most people know that at a basic level. Upload a photo, generate a video based on it, and that's pretty much the starting point. But there is a more specific way to use references that a lot of beginners skip over, and it is why some creators get consistent character outputs across an entire sequence, while others end up with a slightly different looking person in every clip. The thing that fixes this is a character reference sheet. It is one of the most useful assets you can build before you start any project with a human character in it. A character reference sheet is a single image that shows your character from 4 angles at the same time: front view, side view, back view, and a 3/4 view, all in one image. When you upload this into Seedance, the model gets a complete picture of what the character looks like from every direction, so it's not working from one angle and making assumptions about the rest. The result is that the same character comes back looking consistent across multiple generations. Without the reference sheet, your first clip might look great, but the next generation of the same character can come back with different hair, a different face shape, or clothing details that do not match. Those inconsistencies are what make AI video read as AI video, and resolving them after the fact means either regenerating clips you already paid credits for or doing editing work that could have been avoided from the start. You can build a character reference sheet using NanoBanana Pro. The prompt is very straightforward. Describe the character in detail and ask for all 4 angles in one image. And here's the prompt we're using. Generate a few variations and pick the one that you like the most. That image becomes your reference for every video clip featuring that character throughout the project. Seedance 2.0 lets you attach up to 9 image references, 3 video clips, and 3 audio clips to a single generation. A lot of people upload one image and stop there. The more relevant references you give the model, the more it has to anchor to and the less it has to guess. If you have a character sheet, a key visual of the scene, and a separate location image, all 3 can go into the reference panel at once. Each one adds more context, and the output shows that clearly. When generating a clip, use the key visual of your scene as the primary image reference and add the character sheet alongside it. The key visual gives the model the environment and composition, and the character sheet keeps the person in that environment consistent. Together, they give Seedance the full picture, and that takes care of consistency within a project. But when you start building a sequence of scenes that need to feel like one continuous piece of footage, there is a different problem that image references alone do not solve. When building a multi-scene sequence, the old approach is to screenshot the last frame of your finished clip and use it as the starting image for the next generation. A visual starting point of the second scene matches where the first one ended, so the clips should connect cleanly. The problem is that a still screenshot only gives Seedance visual information from that one frame. The model has no idea how the camera was moving leading into that moment, what the energy of the clip felt like, or how the light was shifting across the scene. It builds the next clip from that frozen image, and the result is footage that matches the look on the surface but feels slightly off when you play both scenes back to back. The camera might suddenly change direction, the mood might shift, and it looks like 2 clips that happen to share an endpoint, not like one continuous piece of footage. Seedance 2.0 has a video reference input in the generation panel, and this is what solves it. Instead of uploading a screenshot, you upload the full previous clip as a reference file, and the model reads the entire thing. The camera speed, the direction of movement, the trajectory of the action, the way lighting changes across the duration. It builds the next scene with all of that context carried forward. The difference in the results is real, because scenes generated with a video reference feel like they belong together. The camera energy continues from one clip into the next. The lighting stays consistent in tone. And this is the exact process. Finish generating scene 1 and go back to the creation panel for scene 2. Upload your character sheet and key visual for the new scene as image references as usual. Then in the video reference section, upload the clip you just finished generating. Write your prompt for scene 2 describing the new action and location. Then you simply generate. This is the prompt in use. You repeat this for every scene in the sequence. Each time, swap in the most recent clip as the new video reference and update the image references to match the new setting. The result is a sequence that reads as one continuous piece of content rather than a collection of clips that happen to feature the same character. Before you generate any of this though, there is one step that a lot of people skip entirely, and it is the most direct way to lose a credit with nothing to show for it. Every time you add a reference to Seedance 2.0, whether it is an image or a video, Higgsfield runs an eligibility check on it before the generation begins. This check exists because of copyright restrictions around commercial films, public figures, and certain protected content. When you upload an image or video as a reference, the eligibility check runs on it automatically the moment the upload finishes. Next to each reference, there is a check eligibility button in the reference panel. This shows whether the reference has passed or failed the eligibility check. Every image or video you add as a reference gets checked automatically, and this step cannot be skipped. If something is not allowed, you need to replace it or adjust adjust it before you can continue. There are two situations that come up regularly. The first is image or video references getting flagged. If that happens, they need to be changed before generation is possible. This is because Seedance cannot proceed with any reference that does not pass the check. The second is the text prompt itself getting flagged for content policy. This can happen even with prompts that seem completely normal. When it does, you take the prompt to ChatGPT or Claude and add this after pasting it in. You are not changing the idea, just the specific language that triggered the flag. Copy the new version back into Seedance, run the check again, and hit generate. If a reference or prompt does not pass the eligibility check, Seedance will not proceed with the video generation. You have to fix it first before you can generate it. Most people use Seedance 2.0 as a video tool and nothing else, but it also generates audio too, including voices, and almost nobody is using this the way it was actually designed to be used. If your video needs a narration or a voiceover, the standard approach is to generate it separately in a voice tool, then bring the audio into your edit and line it up with the footage. That works, but it means paying for another tool, managing files across two platforms, and hoping the voice stays consistent across however many audio clips you need to generate. Seedance 2.0 has an audio reference input inside it. You can upload a short clip of any voice, an audio file of someone speaking in the tone and style you want, and then use that as the vocal reference for your narration. Every time you generate, the model reads the reference and matches the voice. The process is, find a short audio clip of a voice that fits the tone you want for the video. It does not have to be long, just enough for the model to get a clear read on the voice quality and delivery style. Go into Seedance 2.0 and upload that audio clip in the reference panel. Then upload the image of the character that you want to use. Then write your prompt with the dialogue you want read out, the delivery style, and any notes on the sound environment. Keep the script section short enough to fit within a 15-second generation. At the end of the prompt, include the instruction to match the reference voice. Generate, then move to the next section of your script, swap in the same audio reference, update the dialogue in the prompt, and generate again. And here is what that prompt looks like. Seedance will give you back that line in the reference voice. Run the same structure for every section of your script, keeping each one within 15 seconds of spoken content. Once all the clips are generated, bring them into your editing software, line them up in order, and you have a complete narration in one consistent voice without using any additional tools.
Getting good results from Seedance 2.0 is not about creative instinct. It comes down to a handful of specific decisions you make before you ever hit generate. The first decision is subject description. Vague language gets vague motion. The more specific you are, the more control you have. The second decision is camera behavior. If you do not define it, the model decides.
This matters in the context of credits because a lot of people are paying for external voice generators without realizing Seedance already handles this. Everything that would cost you extra somewhere else is already inside the platform you are already paying for. Everything in this video runs inside Higgsfield, and the link to get started is in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.